Act as if you're already rich and watch the world catch up. Written and published by Rich Audiobooks. If you woke up tomorrow with $1 billion, what would you suddenly refuse to tolerate? The job you dread? The draining friendships? The cheap, rushed meals eaten standing up instead of sitting like royalty at the table of your own life? That question isn't fantasy, it's a portal. Because the truth is, money is rarely the root of transformation. Identity is. The world doesn't change when you get rich. You get rich because the world can no longer ignore who you've decided to become. Acting as if is not pretending. It's returning. It's remembering. It's reaching within the quiet velvet interior of your truest self and saying, "This is who I am now, and who I was born to be." The scarcity, the struggle, the waiting, those were just costumes. Temporary fits, stitched from generational beliefs and borrowed fear. But the real you, the rich you, that energy has always been pulsing underneath. Wealth is not an acquisition, it's a revelation. So we begin here not with bank statements, but with embodiment. Start to notice who you believe yourself to be. Do you move through life like a guest or a host, like a burden or a blessing? The rich version of you doesn't just desire differently, they decide differently. With calm conviction, with unshaken, of course energy. They no longer delay joy, defer love, or discount their worth. They don't wait for approval. They be permission. When you act like someone who is already rich, you automatically elevate your standards, because lack is no longer part of your self-concept. And when your sense of deserving changes, your outer world cannot help but catch up. Chapter 1. Act as if you're already rich. You don't become magnetic by hustling harder. You become magnetic by being inevitable. Imagine walking into every room knowing that your presence is valuable simply because you exist. What would you ask for? What would you expect? How would your posture shift? How would your voice deepen? This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. Because real wealth starts when you no longer shrink to make others comfortable. When you stop censoring your light or minimizing your needs. The rich identity trusts life. It knows that money, success, and opportunities are not rewards, they are reflections. And those reflections start with tiny, everyday acts. How you wake up, how you dress, how you speak about yourself, your dreams, your time. You don't have to buy a jet today, but you can stop apologizing for walking in your power. You can close your eyes each morning and feel into the felt memory of a life already upgraded. You can live as if the miracle already occurred, because the minute you believe it happened in consciousness, the physical must arrive in obedience. Tell yourself, I carry wealth in every cell of my being. My choices are commands. My decisions are destinations. Let that identity drive you. Now, this is where most people get it twisted. They think acting as if is about appearances, dressing bougie, manifesting with mantras, collecting vision board aesthetics without shifting the engine underneath. Self-concept. But money doesn't respond to costume. It responds to conviction. So don't aim to look like wealth. Aim to feel like wealth. Because when you're steeped in the energy of already having, the need dissolves, and from that place, life rushes to meet you. You no longer chase money, you embody it. Because you understand, you are the source, not the seeker. Whisper this into your bones, left double quotation mark. Your imagination is not fantasy, it is foundation. Every act as if moment you live, sipping with intention, walking with calm elegance, speaking with sovereign belief, tells reality exactly where it must expand to match you. Richness isn't just money dancing in your bank account. It's your sense of certainty when you speak. It's how your energy, untethered and clean, moves through a day. It's your no being just as powerful as your yes. It's the way your mirror sighs with admiration at the sight of you showing up. Again, like the royalty you have always been. So act as if. Not to trick reality, but to reveal it. You're not reaching out, you're calling in. Because the minute you act like you're already rich, you are. Chapter 2. Watch the world catch up to what you feel. Reality trails behind your emotions like a loyal shadow. What you feel inside becomes what you see outside. Not instantly, not always according to your timetable, but inevitably, blessedly, beautifully like sunrise following night. This is the sacred delay the universe honors. It does not react with panic, It responds with precision. The outer world is not ignoring you, love. It's recalibrating itself to reflect the new vibration you've recently decided to live in. So pour patience like honey into your faith. Let it melt. Let it merge. Because the moment you choose to feel rich, the world chooses to fulfill that feeling. Creation doesn't start when you see it. It starts when you feel it. The bank account might still be low. The inbox might still be quiet. But your spirit is roaring wealth. Your energy is holding millions in its gaze. And that is enough for now. Because you are no longer reacting to what is. You are responding to what's coming. You've become fluent in vibrational confidence, settling into the timeline of inevitability. You no longer beg the mirror to change. You become the person who causes it to. So many people quit their manifestations right before momentum picks up speed. They abandon the vibration because the evidence feels slow, not knowing that emotional consistency is the key, and the wait is not a punishment, it's a gestation. The world does not ignore persistent feelings. It kneels to them and reshapes itself accordingly. When you feel rich truly, deeply, shamelessly rich, with no justification beyond sheer inner decree, the world cannot help but realign. This is the law. And this law doesn't ask permission or check the scoreboard. It reads your rhythm. It listens to your emotional undercurrent. You bring about what you embody, not what you beg for, not what you repeat in anxiety, but what you wear as a natural emotional tone. If you feel wealth today as if it's already yours, you tilt the scale of tomorrow in a profound way. So your task is sacred, to steady yourself in the frequency of the future you choose, as if it has already arrived. Because it has. It's time to become emotionally expensive, rich in thoughts, lavish in vibration, countless in confidence. You walk differently when you know the world is catching up. Your decisions are cleaner, your voice is clearer, you no longer wobble under doubt because you've taught your nervous system how to feel success before it arrives. And once you master that state, you leak certainty into every room you enter. What if you let your current lack confuse people because your confidence says otherwise? What if you let life feel like wealth even before your digits agree? That's how new realities are constructed, from within to without, from unseen to seen. It's not hopeless delusion, it's divine precision. You aren't fooling yourself, you're informing the world. The universe never delivers what you don't believe you deserve, and it patiently awaits your vibration to stabilize before delivering the gifts you think are still far away. But you're not waiting anymore. You're practicing, you're conditioning, you're rehearsing joy like a daily devotion, because your focus is not collecting proof, it's generating momentum. Let everyone else ask where is it, while you whisper calmly, it's already done. Repetition is holy. So go ahead, feel ahead of your time, feel rich before the raise, feel celebrated before the crowd, feel safe before the windfall. The world can only rush to meet the version of you you've decided to be. That's how the game works. It's always inside first. Thought, feeling, unshakable vibe, action aligned to belief, not desperation. And then, the world fumbles over itself to reflect back what you insisted emotionally. You are not out of alignment just because the evidence hasn't fully arrived. You are being refined to hold it. To carry the weight of wealth, not as a burden, but as your birthright. You are being stretched into the version of yourself who no longer asks, is it working? But instead declares, I'm already it. You've made the subtle but seismic shift from observer to originator, from reactor to ruler. So feel impressively, feel richly. Don't wait for your senses to approve what your soul already knows. Let your smile be the proof. Let your mood be the wealth. Let your presence be the prosperity. And above all, hold it, honor it, trust it. Because the world is watching you feel, so it can finally catch up. Chapter 3. Between reality and imagination. Everything you want already exists in the world between worlds. Pause. Read that again. You are not waiting on the world. The world is waiting on you to remember. Your imagination is not a fluffy metaphor or childish escape. It is the construction site of your future. It is the sacred blueprint pulled from the invisible and etched into the tangible. It is the brush in the hand of the divine, painting your next level, stroke by stroke, if only you would dare to look long enough. The richest thing you own is not your wallet. It's not your bank account. It's your capacity to envision, to feel, to imagine with authority, and to remember what your soul already knows. You're meant for more. Between reality and imagination lies the doorway to manifestation. This is not the domain of wishful thinking. This is the laboratory of creation. The internal screen of your mind is more powerful than any photograph or paycheck. Why? Because everything you hold now was once a scene in your head, vague or vivid, accidental or intentional. You were always imagining. The question is, were you doing it by design or by default? To act as if you're already rich, you must walk often into the chambers of the unseen. Close your eyes, breathe, drop the need for evidence. Evidence only emerges when you've returned enough times to the vision. This is not fantasy. Fantasy is passive. Imagination, used rightly, is the rehearsal of reality. It's where you try on your future like it fits now, not someday, not when you're ready, now. Feel the energy of that room you desire to dwell in. Is it spacious, sunlit, laced with the scent of fresh flowers you ordered just because? Hear the gentle rustle of your own movements, confident, measured, unbothered. Wealth doesn't rush. Richness has a cadence. Let your whole body memorize it. The textured silence of a life where money works for you, not the other way around. You're not here to beg life for upgrades. You're here to authorize them. You see, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. That's not poetic, it's neurological. When you feel something vividly imagined, when your heart starts beating to the rhythm of that version of you, your body starts adapting. Your behaviors start shifting. You make decisions from a place the world hasn't seen yet, but you've felt it. You become the echo of a reality that's already formed in the unseen. And the universe, oh, it's eavesdropping. All the time. It's not responding to your hard work as much as it's responding to your state. Show it who you are, not the version trained by doubt, or debt, or fear, but the you who already lives in the solved scenario. The you who walks through life with divine entitlement, not in arrogance, but in awareness that your imagination is God's language spoken fluently. Make it a ritual, a daily homecoming, to visit your wealth in the invisible before demanding it in the physical. Hold the vision long enough that the world has to adjust. Persistence in illusion becomes architecture in the real world. Let the imagined scene be so saturated in detail, the smell of coffee in your beach house, the weight of luxury in your closet doors, the sound of your own laughter echoing in places you've never yet been, that it feels more real than reality itself. Because it is. Every person you admire, every entrepreneur, artist, leader, they lived it internally before they achieved it externally. The successful rehearse privately before they're celebrated publicly. You do not become rich by memorizing struggles. You become rich by falling in love with future joy repeatedly, until it lives in your nervous system like a second skin. You are not manifesting riches. You are matching frequencies. The imagination is the transmission. The world reflects the signal. So, start today. Close your eyes and ask, what would I see if my wealth were here now? How would I stand? How would I speak? Where would I go this week? And let yourself walk in it. Don't wait for permission. Permission is the language of poverty. Visualization is the portal for provision. You are already living inside a world created by old imaginations. Is it time to repaint them? Your mind is rich. Use it. Between reality and imagination is where the quantum bends. And when you stand there long enough, reality has no choice but to follow. Chapter 4. Dress neatly, like rich people. Style isn't vanity. It's identity worn out loud. Let that land. Because every time you get dressed, you're not just choosing clothing. You're announcing to the universe who you believe you are. Your outfit is a living affirmation. It whispers your self-worth, shouts your state of mind, and magnetizes the kind of energy that meets you in the world. The rich don't dress up to impress. They dress to express. They dress to confirm what they already know. I am worthy of beauty, of presence, of respect. You see, abundance has a texture. It shows up in the crispness of a tailored shirt, the weight of a well-made coat, the clean scent of intentional grooming. And no, it's not about labels or price tags. That would be performative. This isn't costume play. This is character claiming. Dressing neatly isn't about pretending you're rich. It's about aligning with the energy of someone who values themselves enough not to present a wrinkled version of who they truly are. Ask yourself, if I deeply believed that I was already rich, would I step outside in sweatpants that mirror defeat? Would I ignore the small luxuries of self-care like polished shoes, trimmed nails, or a fragrance that makes me feel potent and magnetic? Or would I move through my day curated like a masterpiece? Would I walk like a person who belongs in bright rooms, in luxury spaces, in my own rising empire? Richness starts at the mirror, not the mansion. When you begin to honor yourself in your presentation, not for external approval, but as an internal agreement, the world begins to respond differently to you. People lean in. Opportunities find you. Doors open that match the energy you've been radiating all along. Because clean, intentional, rich presentation is a frequency, and frequency doesn't lie. The universe doesn't speak English, it speaks vibration, and it notices every signal you're transmitting through presence and posture. Meekness isn't about perfection. It's about care. It's about reverence. It's about arriving fully into your day, saying, left double quotation mark. You'd be shocked at how changing your outer a little can create shifts on the inner. And those inner shifts, they pull new realities towards you like moonlight pulls the tide. Go open your closet right now. Take a moment. Feel the energy hanging on those hangers. Be honest. How many of those clothes reflect your highest self? How many whisper lack, mediocrity, or this will do? Let that awareness be your tipping point. There are universes in every decision we make, and when you choose to adorn yourself with even a little more care, you step into the richest version of you, even before the money lands, even before the calls come in, even before your name is known, because you feel it first. That's the key. Every morning is a manifestation ritual, whether you realize it or not. When you brush your hair, slide into your outfit, tie your shoes. Don't rush it like a chore. Turn it into ceremony. Crow your with intention. Tell the mirror, I am dressing not for the world I'm in, but the world I deserve to live in. And yes, rich people do this naturally. Not because they have to, but because their identity won't let them do otherwise. That's the difference. When you are the thing, you don't need to prove the thing. You just express it. And part of that expression is keeping yourself well-styled, well-groomed, and well-aligned with dignity. So don't wait for special occasions. Life is the occasion. Today is the stage. Put on the perfume that makes you feel powerful. Wear the coat that feels like confidence. Press your clothes. Choose grace over chaos. Listen, wealth begins with how you walk into a room, not with how much you spent getting there. Remember, the world doesn't treat you how you are. It treats you how you assume you are. So start dressing like someone who assumes nothing less than luxury, peace, and respect. You don't need a fancy wardrobe to look rich. You just need to embody care, embody clarity, embody the message your future self came here to tell us all along. Left, double quotation mark. I am not becoming wealthy. I already am. It's just catching up to the way I carry myself. So wear your wealth now, not in dollar signs, but in clean lines, in presence, in power, and polish, because the way you show up will always precede the way life meets you. Chapter 5. Always choose quality over quantity. Rich energy doesn't settle. It selects. 10 seconds. That's all it takes for your soul to recognize excellence. You feel it in a single sip of rich coffee brewed with intention, in the touch of a well-made garment skimming your skin, or in the silent poise of a room adorned with care. Quality is silent wealth. It whispers instead of shouts. It's a standard, not a statement, a quiet refusal to participate in excess when excellence is available. To live richly, you must abandon the counterfeit glow of more and walk in the warm brilliance of better. The poor mind chases numbers, more clothes, more shoes, more followers, more things. The rich mind curates experiences, it edits. It removes what is loud but hollow and keeps only what resonates with depth. True abundance is never found in volume, it lives in vibration. When you act as if you're already rich, you stop trying to accumulate and begin to refine. You stop chasing the bargain and instead pursue the boomerang of better. What you send out in quality always returns in quantity. The moment you start selecting what reflects your worth, the world stops offering you what insults it. Watch how your life changes when you raise your standard from survival to significance. The food you eat begins to nourish, not just fill. The people you allow into your space uplift, not just occupy. The way you spend your time becomes sacred, not scattered. You are no longer a participant in the world of fast, cheap, and plastic. You become a citizen of deliberate, crafted, and clear. Money loves that kind of energy. Because money, like quality, respects intention. No longer ask, is this affordable? Ask instead, is this aligned? That slight shift is seismic, because affordable centers your current limitation, but aligned calibrates to your future expansion. The wealthy don't choose things based on price, they choose based on presence. How does it feel? How does it serve? They don't want a million things, they want a few things done immaculately. When you choose quality, you send a message to the universe, to your subconscious, to the stranger observing you across the room, that you believe you are worthy of experiences, objects, and connections that were made with love, detail, and durability. You stop treating yourself like a discount version of someone else's dream. You begin to honor yourself as a luxury edition of your own. This isn't about expensive, it's about expansion. A single shirt that flatters you, lifts your posture, and makes you walk like you're someone of importance, is worth more than 10 cheap ones that collect dust in your closet. A slow dinner with rich conversation and clean ingredients fills your soul far more than a rushed drive-thru meal grabbed on autopilot. One aligned client who values your time will change your business more than 5 who constantly ask for discounts. Change don't require more. It requires better decisions. Your time is quality. Don't give it in quantity to relationships that deplete you. Your words are quality. Don't use them in overflow on doubt, complaint, or comparison. Your presence is quality. Don't leak it into rooms where your spirit is not seen or your value is not felt. When you begin choosing quality, you stop proving you're enough and start acting like it's already true. Every choice becomes a mirror of your worthiness. Each small yes to excellence begins rewiring your identity. I am someone who receives the best. I invest in myself. I move with discernment. I no longer chase what is on sale. I select what is aligned. I don't need it all. I only need what's real. Hear this. You don't need more. You need more meaning, more intention, more calibration to joy. The wealthy mind knows that nothing is neutral. Every purchase, every moment, every interaction either adds to your foundation of abundance or subtracts from it. This is not minimalism. This is magnificence. Minimalism says, own less. Magnificence says, own things that reflect your greatness. One is reduction. The other is refinement. You're not here to shrink. You're here to shine in every detail of life. So today, make wealth a verb. Choose the seat that supports your posture. Pick the food that makes your body sing. Wear the shirt that makes you feel like a piece of art. Call the friend who listens beyond your words. Let everything around you echo, I am worthy of the best, and I accept nothing less. Because quality isn't a luxury, it's your new normal. Chapter 6. Build strong self-concept with high confidence. You don't get what you want, you get who you believe you are. The universe pays attention to the energy from which you move, not the words you utter to fill the silence of doubt. You could write 10 goals, chant 100 affirmations, and still receive scraps. If, beneath it all, you still see yourself as unworthy, small, or invisible. Wanting wealth is common. Expecting it, embodying it, and receiving it with calm conviction, that's a strong self-concept. That's currency more valuable than gold. Your self-concept is the silent architect behind every dollar you do or don't receive. It is the pattern your world copies. So if you feel like money avoids you, opportunities ghost you, or abundance skips your address, check the internal ID badge you've been wearing. Do you introduce yourself to life as someone wealthy? Or do you unconsciously still carry the identity of someone who's waiting to be chosen? Confidence isn't loud. It doesn't push, prove, or parade. Confidence is quiet certainty. It's the way you walk into a room without overthinking your existence. It's how you look in the mirror and see someone inevitable, not someone trying. It's the sacred pact between your soul and your self-image that whispers, we belong here. And the moment you begin to believe that you'll notice others start reflecting it back to you, without question. Let this be your daily devotion. Speak to yourself like someone who matters. High self-concept is built in the silence of your inner conversations. Those no one hears but everyone eventually sees. If you keep calling yourself unprepared, insecure, or undeserving in secret, then no amount of public posturing will magnetize lasting abundance. The subconscious knows the truth, and that truth governs your manifestations. One of the richest habits of the wealthy self is to assume, I am already the version of myself who creates, receives, and lives in overflow. Not someday, but now. Begin retraining your internal voice to match the reality you're attracting. Say aloud, with power, each morning, left double quotation mark, mirror work is potent here, because mirrors don't lie, but you can teach them a new truth. Every day, stand before your reflection and make eye contact with your future, until that future begins to speak back with recognition.
Time. All of the pages have sacrificed Liz, K, in one way, place with hope and praise in return, within greater and better at home.
Tell your mirror, I am a wealthy, magnetic creator. I look like someone who has it, because I am someone who does. Repeat until that becomes your new normal. Because it will. Notice how people respond to you differently, not when you change who you are, but when you depend your belief in it. Suddenly, you're glowing. Suddenly, your presence enters a room 5 steps ahead of you. Suddenly, deals fall through for you to receive a better one. That's not coincidence. That's reflection. You don't attract what you hustle towards. You attract from how real you feel on the inside. Confidence magnetizes miracles, but the source of that confidence isn't luck or privilege. It's trust. Trust in your ability to hold, create, and rise. Trust in the inner blueprint of I am, worthy with or without proof. Odds don't build your self-concept. You build it by writing a new script and rehearsing it until your cells believe it. So, give yourself permission to be bigger than your fears. If you've been operating from the wounded story of, I am not enough yet, lay it down. That script is expired. Richness begins the moment you decide to befriend your inevitable self and treat them with respect, devotion, and consistency. Wealth is not a place you reach, it's a person you remember. And the strongest you lives just beyond your doubt, ready to take the lead. Act as if, no, remember as if. Walk, speak, and breathe like someone who knows the throne is already theirs. Because when your self-concept is built on truth, confidence writes your destiny.
Chapter 7. Educate yourself with continuous learning. Rich people read. Wealthy minds are never done growing. If you're going to step into a life of limitless wealth, the mind that carries you there must be just as limitless. Wealth doesn't grow in the soil of stagnation. It blooms where curiosity stretches its arms and says, show me more. Think about it. Millionaires, billionaires, world shapers, they all have one thing in common. They are relentless learners. Not because they have to be, but because they understand the secret. Knowledge expands your capacity to receive. When you make learning your lifestyle, wealth feels right at home with you. Not because you know everything, but because you're energetically open to more. You invite insights. You welcome upgrades. You court brilliance, and brilliance always returns the favor. To act as if you're already rich means you carry yourself with the curiosity of someone who can afford wisdom. You don't look at a book and think, what's this going to cost me? You look at it and know, this could be the page that changes everything. Investing in your education, whether through books, courses, mentorship, or simply surrounding yourself with elevated conversations, is wealth behavior. It sends a message to the universe, louder than any vision board can whisper, I am ready to receive more, because I can handle more. You're not just reading to improve yourself, you're reading to meet the version of you who has already arrived. Education, in this context, isn't about chasing another certificate to prove your worth. It's about stepping into mastery with humility. It's about seeing every new skill, every fresh piece of understanding, as another golden key, unlocking rooms in the mansion of your potential. When you learn something that's aligned with your purpose, you don't just upgrade your knowledge, you upgrade your frequency. Look around. The richest people don't stop learning once they hit a certain level. If anything, they become hungrier for information that stretches them. They understand that the mind must remain elastic. Rigid minds repel abundance. Flexible minds form partnerships with it. When you read books about wealth, creativity, spirituality, investment, psychology, you're not just collecting data. You're fine-tuning your resonance. Every paragraph is a tuning fork for your reality. There is a sacred rhythm to growth, and it ticks like a metronome inside the heart of learning. Begin your mornings not with scrolling, but with soaking in wisdom. Let your nights close on the quiet hum of a new idea entering your consciousness. Get excited when you don't know something. It means you're about to discover something that shifts your identity. That's wealth. Not just what's in your account, but what's in your awareness. Start to see every interaction as an opportunity to learn. Sit at the feet of people who think bigger than you. Be brave enough to admit when you don't know. It's a gateway to higher knowing. Stop trying to be the smartest in the room. Be the most teachable. Be the most absorbent. Be the most open, because open minds are magnetic fields for miracles. Become a student of wealth, of joy, of fulfillment. Study yourself. Study others. Learn what makes people light up, and how economies are just energy in exchange. Learn what role you want to play in the symphony of this world, and then spend your life perfecting that instrument. Wealth flows to those who become irreplaceable in their value, and value comes from education, applied. Richness starts within, and learning is one of its first symptoms. When the wealthy version of you wakes up, they don't hit snooze on their soul. They ask, what can I know today that I didn't know yesterday? Every insight is a brick in your legacy. So read, listen, explore. Get obsessed with raising your intelligence, emotional, financial, spiritual, because every time you expand your mind, you create more room for abundance to move in. And trust me, it moves in fast when it recognizes a mind prepared to hold it. Chapter 8. Money is just a tool to increase your value. Money has no agenda. You bring the meaning. What if money isn't the star of the show, but the spotlight? What if it's not the determining force, but the amplifier of who you already are? Most people run toward money with desperation, but you're going to walk in value and let the money catch up. Money flows to clarity. Money flows to value. Money flows where it can multiply impact. When you really feel that, you take your power back, because now, your job isn't to obsess over cash, but to cultivate worth, not perform it, not pretend it, but embody it. To live like someone who daily increases their own value and makes it undeniable. Scarcity convinces you that money is the cause, that money creates your worth and saves your life, that when you finally get the money, then you'll show the world your brilliance, then you'll give generously, then you'll live fully expressed. But that's the trap. Because money doesn't make you, it magnifies you, and the world pays attention to those who already know this. So the real shift begins here. Lead with value, and money becomes your echo. Let's take off the pressure. Let's stop asking, how do I get more money? And instead ask, how can I become more valuable? See, when you ask that question with integrity, imagination, and commitment, you stop playing small. You stop hiding in half-truths and start showing up as the answer to something. The moment you realize you are the solution someone is searching for, you stop chasing, you start standing, you start creating, not from fear, but from service, not from lack, but from overflowing usefulness. Money doesn't respond to mere action. It responds to aligned action. And aligned action begins where your deepest talents intersect with your highest vision of contribution. Richness expands through people who are continuously investing in the sharpening of their soul, the refinement of their offering, and the elevation of their standards. Your value isn't tied to your job title, or your resume, or your number of followers. Your value is in the way you think, the questions you ask, the courage to improve yourself daily. Decide right now to become someone whose presence solves problems, someone whose words carry weight, someone whose service feels like a gift wrapped in gold. Because your energy, your clarity, and your craftsmanship do more than make a sale. They leave an imprint. There is no need to wait to be an entrepreneur to create value. Every moment is a transaction with the universe. The way you speak, the responsibility you assume, the ideas you bring to your team, the love and attention you pour into whatever's in front of you, all of it, it all tells a story about the richness you allow. And in this world, The people who hold wealth are rarely just the ones who wanted it most. They're the ones who practiced holding value long before the marketplace recognized them. So what will you practice? Will you practice excellence even when it's unnoticed? Will you practice generosity before the numbers make sense? Will you practice discipline, vision, and bold creativity without waiting to be affirmed? If yes, the money must come find you. When you stop asking for money to confirm your value and start showing the world the truth of who you are, something changes. You rise, you become undeniable. And guess what? Money loves confidence. Money loves direction. Money loves showing up and turning up the volume on those who are too busy becoming to be worried about proving. Program yourself with this new mantra. I add value. I multiply value. Value flows through me effortlessly. Say it until it feels like your truth, because it is. Let's take it further. Imagine that money is pure energy. Energy that chooses homes with structure, intention, and purpose. Would it choose you? But it find a home that honors it, builds with it, multiplies it, and blesses others through it? Or would it find confusion, doubt, and avoidance? Become the kind of person money would be excited to visit. Be the soul that money trusts. This isn't about hustle. It's about refinement. It's about elevating your standards so high that your life becomes an offering in itself. Riches are attracted to resonance. So what are you resonating? When your value goes up internally, without needing confirmation from your outside world, your bank account gets the memo, because energy writes the instructions, frequency writes the future. And wealth always responds to the soul brave enough, not just to have purpose, but to live it out loud. So go make your genius easier to find. Package your perspective, sharpen your shine. Be so dialed into your own magic that people feel the richness before the invoice is even sent. And watch how money once chased now circles back on its own. Because you finally remembered, money is not the prize, you are. Chapter 9. Become someone who attracts money easily. Chasing money will exhaust you. Becoming magnetic will free you. Read that line again. Let it meet you in your chest, in your throat, in your belly. Feel how the energy moves differently when you stop pursuing and start embodying. This is not about learning how to hunt harder. It's about becoming the forest that wealth freely walks through. Abundance isn't something you grab at. It's something you allow. It's drawn to who you are being, not what you're doing. Becoming someone who attracts money easily is not about hacks. It's about identity alchemy. Take a breath. What if money adored being around you? What if it appeared in curious ways, unexpected channels, quiet miracles, not because you followed a strategy, but because you became the kind of person money feels safe with? The kind of person who never doubts their worth, who stays relaxed while others panic, who treats small dollars and large dollars with reverence, not rigidity. That kind of person doesn't just attract money. They hold it, multiply it, dance with it. So how do you embody that? How does one shift from trying to earn to effortlessly attracting? You start with language. Drop the struggle vocabulary. Eliminate words like expensive, broke, hard, and barely getting by. These don't describe your circumstances. They prescribe your future. Speak like money already trusts you. Say, I'm aligned with wealth. Say, I'm opening new portals of prosperity every day. Say, I receive money in ways both expected and miraculous. Your words cast spells. Speak only from the version of you who already knows what it feels like to have more than enough. Then, shift your posture internally first. Wealth responds to energy that says, I'm the source. Not, I hope something saves me. No one gets rich with clenched fists and a desperate heart. You must move more like water. Deep, clear, calm, radiating a knowing that says, my very presence is valuable. And here's the truth. That's not something you have to earn. That's something you remember. Run a hand through your chest. Say out loud, I no longer chase, I attract. Let that become your personal rhythm. When you walk into a room, money follows. When you speak, your words imprint with the frequency of legacy. When you create something, a product, a service, a proposal, it's infused with transmission, because you are no longer hustling to convince anyone. You've become the signal itself, a quiet authority that says, I am prosperous by being. This is the path of the magnetic. Magnetic people don't beg, they don't scramble, they don't people-please their way into receiving. They do the inner work to become steady, open, and certain of their value. They know what they offer is rare because they are rare. And in that spiritual certainty, money finds no resistance. It flows. Notice how you respond when a bill arrives. Do you shrink, stress, or do you bless it as part of the sacred exchange of wealth in motion? Every energetic reaction is a prayer. When you treat money like a flow rather than a fortress, it softens into your magnetic field, and you become a natural conductor of resources. Money loves to be seen without fear. It rushes toward those who don't make it loaded with guilt and shame. Release that. Burn it. Write a new story. Say it. I am someone money loves to be around. This isn't arrogance. It's alignment. You can love money without worshipping it. You can hold money without gripping it. You can attract money without needing it to prove your worth. You're the source, not the result. You are the magnet that moves from overflow, not the beggar waiting for permission. Feel this shift in your marrow. Feel money getting curious about you, turning toward you, hovering closer each day because you radiate ease. You feel safe, you feel sovereign, you feel like home. And that's who money follows, not noise, not desperation, but resonance. So don't chase the next strategy. Don't micromanage the how. Relax your nervous system. Regulate your receiving. Become a walking declaration of abundance, and watch the universe rearrange itself to fit your frequency. You're not here to grasp. You're here to glow. Be the one they wonder about. The one who makes wealth look like a natural extension of breath. The one who doesn't hustle harder because you've already chosen to become the kind of person money cannot resist. And it will come. The moment you become the cause, not the consequence. Chapter 10. Surround yourself with high net wealth people. Who you spend time with is who you become, vibrationally and financially. You are not just shaping your life with your thoughts and habits. Every room you walk into speaks to your future. Every conversation is either pulling you forward into your rich self or holding you captive in an outdated version of you. Energy is contagious, and currency is current. So choose your current wisely. Wealth flows where wealth is normalized. High net worth people don't just talk differently. They think in terms of solutions, innovation, scalability, and impact. When you place yourself in their orbit, something alchemical happens. You start borrowing their beliefs until they become your own. This chapter isn't about social climbing. It's about frequency alignment. It's not about chasing rich people for favor or fame. It's about syncing up to their standard. When you're committed to embodying wealth, the environment you operate in becomes permission or obstruction. You need rooms that elevate your conversation. You need people who make abundance obvious. You need dinner tables where dreams aren't questioned. They're expected. Proximity is not just physical, it's energetic. If you don't yet have direct access to seven-figure mentors or wildly wealthy peers, begin by immersing yourself in their world. Read their books. Follow their interviews. Subscribe to their energy. Let their mental models become your framework. Wealth is a language, and the more immersed you are in it, the more fluent you become. Start replacing broke talk with expansion talk. Instead of, how will I afford that? Ask, how can I create something valuable enough for that to be a non-issue? Align yourself with individuals who ask bigger questions and offer even better answers. Do the people around you make you shrink or expand? Audit your circle with honesty, not guilt. You have no obligation to stay small for the sake of comfort. You don't owe anyone a front row seat to your transformation if they're narrating limiting beliefs over your life. Not everyone will cheer for your rise, but the ones who do, those are worth galaxies. High net worth individuals operate on clarity, boundaries, and intuition. They invest in themselves and make decisions fast. Energy matters more than logic for them. They value time like gold and see money as a tool, never an identity. They aren't obsessed with status. They're committed to purpose, freedom, and building legacies with impact. That's a frequency you want to catch. It will stretch you. It will challenge you. But most of all, it will normalize what once seemed distant. $1 million decision feels different when it's just Tuesday dinner talk in your circle. You don't have to be rich to stand beside wealthy energy. You just have to be authentic. Show up as someone who respects value, brings value, and expects expansion. Your vibe is your access pass. You'll be surprised how many high-frequency connections respond not to what you have, but to who you've decided to become. As you upgrade your environment, your nervous system stabilizes in higher expectation. You stop viewing wealth as a destination and start recognizing it as your default setting. You belong at every fancy table. You belong in every boardroom. You belong on every private jet runway of your own making. But you only believe that by being around people who reflect that truth back to you without flinching. The rich identity doesn't just get practiced alone in your mind. It gets reinforced in your community. Curate yours wisely. Let your connections remind you. There is no ceiling. Let their wins become your proximity prophecy. Let their language rewire your limits. Let your exposure become expansion. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you're comfortable with. And when abundance becomes familiar, it becomes inevitable. So take inventory with compassion and courage. Say goodbye if you must. Say hello where it matters. You're not upgrading out of arrogance. You're rising from divine alignment. You are rich. You are ready. And now, you're surrounded. Chapter 11. Eat fresh, clean, and nutritious food. If you acted like the wealthiest version of yourself, today, right now, what would be on your plate? This chapter is not a detour from money. It's a direct runway to it. Because how you feed your body is how you train your world to treat you. The food you choose is a mirror of your self-regard. And the truly rich, not just in cash, but in clarity, confidence, presence, honor, their bodies like sacred vessels of value. You are not a trash can for stress snacks. You're a channel for miracles, radiating worth from the inside out. And wealth listens to how you eat. When you consistently nourish yourself with intention, the universe notices. Not because your food is expensive, but because your energy becomes expensive. Your cellular chemistry shifts. Your mind sharpens. Your spirit grounds itself in deeper trust. And in that elevated frequency, you become magnetic to more. More ideas, more creativity, more certainty, more flow, more yeses. How could you not? You're now operating in the calm, vibrant tempo of a queen or king who respects their temple. People think wealth is earned through hustle, but hustle with a foggy mind and bloated gut is just burnout in slow motion. True creation requires clarity, and clarity comes from how you fuel yourself. Fresh food carries life force, living energy. It doesn't just fill you, it elevates you. Like attracts like. If you bring light into your meals, you draw light into your money. If you say to yourself with every bite, I am worth feeding well, the universe says, yes you are, and it shows you how true that is in your bank account, your opportunities, your relationships, your joy. Let's be honest. When you're vibrating with vitality, everything else feels easier. You stand taller, you think faster, you speak with more presence, you sell with more resonance, you dream with greater courage. That is wealth frequency. It's not separate from your health, it's born through it. Have you ever noticed how abundance flows more when you're feeling good in your skin? That's not random. That's resonance. Your energy field is a broadcast tower. And every time you choose something alive, a crisp apple, leafy greens, clean water, unprocessed ingredients infused with sun and soil, you're dialing in a higher signal. You're saying, this body matters, I matter, my temple is not for sale, I carry treasure, and I treat myself accordingly. Food is not just fuel, it's frequency, a silent affirmation embedded in every bite. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. You don't need to punish yourself with restriction or perfection. That's not what the rich version of you would do. They would choose pleasure, not pain. They would ask, what would someone who deeply loves and trusts their body choose today? And they would listen. And from that place of listening, new choices arise, not from guilt, but from honor. Picture yourself shopping, reaching for foods that glow, not flashy, not over-engineered, just vibrant, clean, whole. You catch your reflection in the glass door of the refrigerator aisle, and you smile, because this is who you are now. Someone who lives abundance in 3D, in what you eat, how you eat, and how you feel after. Fast food is fast, fading energy. Slow, real food is sovereign fuel. And you're a sovereign being. You don't shovel calories into your body like a machine. You offer nourishment to your body like a ceremony. That's how the rich treat themselves, with rituals of reverence. Because when you cherish yourself first, you teach everything else in your life to honor you too. This isn't about restriction. It's not about shame. It's about embodiment. Acting as if you are already rich, because you are. And if you were, wouldn't your choices already reflect that? Wouldn't your breakfast whisper, "I am supported"? Wouldn't your lunch shout, "I have time to care for myself"? Wouldn't your water drinking ritual echo, "My clarity is worth protecting"? There are no small habits. Every action speaks. Every plate you build says something about your future. Let it say, "I live a nourished life. I thrive at the highest level. Energy is my currency. I am already rich, and my body knows it." So bless your food. Choose it with joy. Prepare it with peace. Eat it with presence. And let it become the quiet miracle that funds your entire life with vitality, magnetism, and rich, undeniable truth. You are wealth in motion. Feed that truth, and watch how everything else feeds you back. Chapter 12. You are rich in health, wealth, and relationships. Pause. Take a breath. Look around even if nothing has changed yet. On the outside, doesn't it already feel different inside? Rich isn't just money. It's a whole frequency of wholeness. And wholeness touches everything. When you're truly rich, you're not grasping for one category of life to carry all your joy. You're overflowing. And that overflow touches your health, your wealth, and the relationships that mirror your self-love back to you. You are not here to be rich in one part and bankrupt in the rest. You came to be fully resourced in your vitality, in your contribution, in love and reciprocity. Say it now, even if your outer world says otherwise. I'm already living wealth in 3 dimensions: body, bank, and bond. Your physical health is not a separate thing from your financial manifestation. They speak the same language, alignment and energy. When you treat your body like a sacred home, the universe sees you as someone who can be trusted with more, because how you steward your energy is how you steward your abundance. You cannot neglect the vessel and expect the flow to remain clear. Eat like someone who honors their energy. Move like someone who is preparing for more. Rest like someone who knows their nervous system is their power source. Wealth that empties your spirit is not wealth, it's a debt called performance. That's not your path. Your richness is regenerative. You serve from overflow. You expand from health. You glow because your soul is synced with your physical form. Then, relationships. Here's where many forget. Money is not the only currency. Time is currency. Love is currency. Trust is currency. And relationships, they are the architecture of an opulent life. How you connect with others determines whether your wealth feels like a cage or a kingdom. Real riches are shared. True wealth touches hearts, not just pockets. Let your friendships reflect affection, not competition. Let your romantic partnerships mirror belief, not control. Let your professional partnerships be collaborations, not transactions. This is rich. When your circle is full of people who see your light and speak it back to you, not out of flattery, but resonance. If someone makes you shrink to fit, it's not wealth, it's poverty in disguise. Act rich in how you let people treat you. You don't have to earn kindness. You don't have to audition for loyalty. Decide that your value is not negotiable in rooms where love is conditional. Now here's where it all clicks. The Trinity. Health amplifies wealth. Wealth empowers relationships, and rich relationships feed your health. It's all a beautiful loop of expansion, if you let it be. No more compartmentalizing, no more hustling for money while your health fades, no more building empires and ignoring intimacy. We do not glamorize starvation, not of the soul, the body, or the heart. You are no longer the version of yourself that sacrifices joy for hustle. You take care of your body like it's your first investment. You build wealth like it's your natural state. You nurture relationships like they're mutual gardens. This balance, this harmony, this is rich. You're not waiting anymore. You're not performing. You are embodying, showing up for your hydration like it's holy, showing up for your finances like it's art, showing up for your people like love is your native language. Let that be your legacy. A life where your nervous system felt safe, your bank account felt steady, and your arms were forever filled with connection. Stop seeking just money. Seek richness wide, deep, and whole, and the rest will come home to you. Because you are already the treasure. You are already the circulation point through which vitality flows, prosperity flows, intimacy flows. The more you honor that by how you act, eat, speak, move, and connect, the more the world aligns to match. You are rich. Entirely. Eternally. now.